Good afternoon. I'm Dustin Grove. Good to see you here on a Monday afternoon.
Yes, a good Monday it is. I'm Felicia Lawrence. Thank you for joining us. You're watching 13 News at 4.
We've got a lot to get to, including a look at the terrifying storms barreling across the Midwest. Seems like there have been so many of these storms. This is one in Milwaukee that ripped off the roof of a state prison. We're going to tell you what happened to the hundreds of prisoners impacted by that coming up this hour as well. But we'll start today with big-time fallout over Pizzafest. That's the inaugural Indianapolis Pizza Festival that happened Saturday afternoon.
And it happened on Monument Circle, but a lot of pizza fans are frustrated with how this event turned out. Jenny Runovich has been talking with some of them today. She joins us now. What went wrong?
Well, frankly, these people say a lot. Social media, if you've taken a look today, it's really been lit up since Saturday with complaints. They're basically saying this festival was oversold and it underdelivered. Now, first by the numbers, the festival was sold out, sold just over 4,000 tickets for the 6-hour event on the Circle. And for $30 in advance, you were supposed to get unlimited samples of pizza. But most people showed up when Pizzafest first opened, and people say it was just way too crowded, not prepared for that crowd at all. They say it was too confusing to navigate. They couldn't find water. They say the pizza kept running out, not enough porta potties, and the number of vendors promised didn't all show. Some just didn't feel safe, and others didn't ever get pizza at all.
We were pretty confused on where the line started and ended. It was kind of just like one mega line around the whole event. So you got in line and then you just kind of were in line forever.
Very chaotic. Nobody knew where to go or what lines went where. Didn't see any indicators for bathroom, any seating.
So how much pizza did you eat?
Zero. Actually, we all ended up going to Buffalo Wild Wings across the street, which I felt terrible for them because they were just getting absolutely overwhelmed with the amount of people that were pouring in their doors from the pizza festival.
Yeah, some left hungry, a lot left hangry too. But, you know, all of them just want the Pizza Festival to be better. They were excited to go. They were excited for a Pizza Fest to happen in Indy. And those who did eat the pies said they were great. So, you know, but still frustrated, obviously.
So what did the organizer have to say about this?
He did talk to us because we wanted to reach out to him, find out kind of what went wrong. He was pretty transparent about what happened, and he does have plans to make it right, at least for next year. So coming up tonight at 6 o'clock, you'll hear what he had to say, plus a little more of the dilemma that people were in. But again, not the best start for Pizza Fest in Indy.
Yeah, I'm very curious as to hear what he has to say. Obviously, we need to keep watching. But, I mean, it also just goes to show that there is a desire for this. The fact that 4,000
so much interest.
sold,
Yes.
You know, people always ask, well, what's going on in Indy, or where are all the folks at, or where are the young people at?
They were there.
They were there, ready for pizza.
4,000 wanted pizza.
And the first ever is always a tricky one. So,
Right.
Yeah.
I
Good
think
things
that's
take
part
time.
of it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll look forward to your story tonight at 6.
Sure.
Jenny, thank you. Just hours ago, we learned the unhoused who set up an encampment in Fountain Square will have a few more days to pack up and leave. You're looking live along Leonard Street. For days, the city said people living there would be forced out today. However, Indy's Office of Public Health and Safety issued an update today saying the unhoused would be moved at a later date because service providers and outreach workers are working to find resources and alternative accommodations. We spoke to some of the unhoused today. Many say they feel unjustly punished for something they really have no control over.
I get very aggravated easily. Like, the residents shouldn't be kicking out the people that don't make noises, that clean up the trash. They shouldn't be kicking out people that try to keep clean and try to do what's best for the environment as long as we can stay here. And it's just, why would they kick out people that are not even doing nothing and keeping up the environment clean?
Coming up tonight at 5, we're going to hear more from the unhoused and the city as well about what's being done to meet the needs of those being forced from that encampment. So we'll have much more on that coming up at 5.
And the push to move unhoused people off the streets is also happening in the nation's capital.
In fact, just this morning, President Trump announced his administration is removing homeless encampments from D.C. parks. He's also placing the Washington, D.C. Police Department under direct federal control and deploying National Guard troops to cut down on crime.
Major moves happening in D.C. Here's Julia Benbrook reporting from the White House.
For months now, Trump has frequently threatened a federal takeover of the nation's capital because he claims that crime in Washington, D.C. is, quote, totally out of control. In a social media post over the weekend, Trump said, "I'm going to make our capital safer and more beautiful than it ever was before. The homeless have to move out immediately. We will give you places to stay, but far from the capital." Adding, "The criminals, you don't have to move out. We're going to put you in jail where you belong." On Monday, the president held a press conference with several administration officials standing behind him.
I'm announcing a historic action to rescue our nation's capital from crime, bloodshed, bedlam, and squalor, and worse. This is Liberation Day in D.C., and we're going to take our capital back.
There were two major takeaways. He's placing the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department under federal control and deploying National Guard troops to the nation's capital. Trump has made several claims about the rising crime, but let's take a look at the data. So far this year, overall crime numbers in D.C. are actually lower than last year at this time. D.C. is managed under Home Rule, a 1973 law giving Congress oversight and authority over the capital city, but allowing district residents to have some control over how it's run. For Trump to completely have the federal government take over governing Washington, he would need lawmakers to pass legislation, which is unlikely in a tightly controlled Congress. At the White House, I'm Julia Benbrook.
All right, and take a little closer to home, a look at weather now. Here's a shot of downtown. It was just a beautiful day.
Hot and steamy all weekend, and yeah, it continued today, Sean.
Yeah. And
We're using different adjectives, but
Some of you think that's great.
they're all accurate.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, how about I come down the middle? If you prefer hot, humid weather, I think you're going to enjoy our 7-day forecast and being at the State Fair tomorrow.
That's right.
Here we go.
We'll have more on that in a little bit. Let's give you the details now of what's happening outside. Yeah, temperatures. These are heat indices, by the way. Taking that temperature in the dew point, this is what we come up with. Near 100 Terre Haute, 99 in Frankfurt. And the heat index around the metro area has been bouncing around from about a 90 to 95. I mentioned the dew points. They are near and above 70 degrees. That has been a big theme for the summer. I'm going to talk a little more about that here in about 10 minutes. And that muggy air that we have is helping feed a few, we stress the word few, showers that have popped up and rumbles of thunder. Most areas won't have a drop of rain. We just cannot guarantee, even around the metro, that you may not have a shower push through your areas. You kind of see how widely spaced they are. There's been a little more concentration from near Lafayette, Logansport toward Fort Wayne. Otherwise, it's just going to be a hot, humid evening. More in the 7-day. If you like 90s, hang tight. Many more of those to come.
All right, Rob. Thank you, sir. We have an update today on the investigation into those long and frustrated delays reported at the United States Postal Service distribution hub here in Indy.
I mean, we've literally been talking about this for months. People have been complaining about it for months, and because it's taking so long to get their packages, it's causing so much frustration. But Congressman Jefferson Shreve says that things are improving. Ella Rhodes actually joins us now with an update. Ella, how's it going?
Yeah, Dustin and Felicia, there is an update, like you said. So it was just a little over 3 months ago when one of our state representatives went and visited Congressman Jefferson Shreve. He toured the USPS distribution hub here in Indy, looking into the reason behind the mail delivery delays. Now, he says there's been a 21% improvement at the center. People first saw the delivery delay during the holidays, and in December, the USPS Indy distribution site mail service performance was at 72%. Now, WTHR heard from several of our viewers about their packages just sitting at the distribution hub for days, sometimes even weeks. Then people even said they didn't even get their packages. So Representative Shreve toured the mail sorting facility in April and said the issues were from the planning and implementation of the larger facility. But American Postal Worker Union Chief Trustee Steve Vaughn says he doesn't believe the improvements are as high as the congressman says.
They announce their tour and everything gets, swept up and cleaned and painted and moved, and then they come through, it looks all shiny and sparkly, and there's no mail because it's all in semi trucks running around 465.
Right, so Vaughn says he thinks since there's less mail now compared to December and January, the improvement numbers would look better anyways. Both Vaughn and Representative Shreve say there's still work to be done to improve delivery.
So are there people still having problems getting their packages?
Yeah, so the congressman's team says they're actually still helping people locate their packages and everything. And you'll hear a little bit more from this union trustee at 5:30 about what improvements he suggests the distribution center should make.
Okay, important. You know, we talk about people getting their medications through the mail and conducting business through the mail. So it's not just
More than just an inconvenience.
Paying your bills, right?
Yes,
Yes.
all important. Thank you, Ella.
Thanks.
All right, and a happy ending to a scary situation today in Tippecanoe County. The frantic search for a missing 10-year-old boy ended when search crews found him deep in a cornfield near West Lafayette. Gabriel Hurt disappeared last night. First responders and volunteers searched all night for him. And finally, just before 9 o'clock this morning, they found him with a drone camera. He is okay, and now he's back with his family.
Great to hear that it worked out okay.
Yeah.